let's speak on it for a second. One crack news. When you run into people that are putting themselves back out there, women say that all the time. I'm thinking about getting back out there. Like now I'm ready to get back out there, right? What does that mean? Getting back out there means what? You're just gonna go out, talk to a bunch of guys, get them to buy you a couple of dinners, some drinks, or whatever. What does getting back out there mean? Because if it's like getting back to the same old BS, why does a guy want to be bothered with that? If you just gonna do the same thing you just did in the last relationship, in this relationship, and say, hey, none of it was my fault. It was all that person's fault. It's only telling, right? You're telling on yourself. You're telling yourself you want to go into a situation that is ideal for you. You're telling yourself this is the best thing going. You're telling yourself this is it. This is what's great for me. But in reality, it isn't. And you know it. And you know you're on borrowed time. You know you don't have a lot going on. You know this is it. It's the end of the road. You know all of this is coming to a head. So what women do is they get what we call desperate. Women goes into a desperation stage. And when they go into a desperation stage, it's about survival. So they're trying to survive, but acting as if they're doing this by getting back out there. You ever see that? A woman when she break up in a relationship, she'll go on a diet. She'll start running on a treadmill. She start doing all this stuff, being fun acting, going out, doing all this stuff. Why weren't you doing that in your relationship? Why weren't you doing that 24/7? Like, to try to save your relationship. Now, I'm not saying everything is the woman's fault, because it isn't. There's two sides to the coin, not one. But every side of that coin, what you end up finding is a result that you're not going to be happy with. Because a man does it too. A man don't normally say, I'm getting back out there. When a man split up with his wife, first thing they do is, if they've been in a long relationship, they need that friend. They need that homie that's going to go out with them. They need that friend that's going to be there to the end. They need that homeboy that's going to tell them, hey, this is effed up, man. This is what we need to do right now. Because what we've been doing is effed up. This needs to work like this. We need to do this like this. I got the perfect person for you. They need the homeboy to go with them to get them hooked up with somebody else. And normally who they hooking you up with, you don't know nothing about them. All you know is they coming from a messed up situation too. You're not getting hooked up with who's best for you. You're getting hooked up with somebody that they know and you know. So that's going to be cool. All right. Now we get to have your friend taken care of, and I hooked her up with my boy. So now you got a relationship sandwiched together for the convenience of other people. Not for the convenience of you, not for the convenience of them. Then you end up dating this person for a while, and then y'all realize all these problems start coming up that you didn't know about, and you start, going, man, why'd you hook me up with this girl? You ain't told me she was crazy. She in the middle of the night, wake up crying. You ain't told me nothing about all this. I ain't know she did all that. Well, she do. And he's like, but then your wife gonna get mad when I don't want to talk to her no more. Now I gotta see her around if I come around, y'all. This is why I don't date setups from relationships and friends. I date people that don't have any connection to my family whatsoever. I don't want that, because then you got to see them every time you come back around. It's like, now I got to feel weird when I come around and see you. I don't want to do that. That's not good for me. It's not good for them. It's not good for anybody. That's just terrible. So you might say, what's the other question? Why are you doing it? None of it makes any sense. So why would you even attempt? You feel me? Oh shit, that was a big hole. This girl dated this man for about 2-3 years, hoping to get married, right? They then went to Disney World. They went to Branson. They went everywhere. They watched the same TV shows. And he would not marry her in 2.5 years. And so she got mad. She was like, so we've been together 2.5 years. You know me, you know my family. They love you. I love your family. Why are we not getting married? He was like, oh, not this again. She's like, I want to know why. We never really had this talk. He was like, I want to marry you when I'm ready to get married. Like, I don't think we're financially set to be married, or, just to get married and have a wedding. I want to marry you when it's right. It's not right yet. We're building towards a marriage. Let's save up so that when we do get married. And he's like, I want to marry you. I don't want to be with nobody else but you. But I'm just saying, let's do it the right way. Let's do it this way where it makes sense. And he wants to save up because he was trying to get a promotion at his job. He was waiting on that promotion, which was going to happen in 6-7 months, where he's going to take over and get the regional area. He's going to be the regional manager. He was training for this. He wanted to get that. The bonus he was going to get from that, he was going to buy her an engagement ring, and they were going to plan the wedding about a year later. This was his plan. So while he's in the middle of training for this, she comes home one day and says, you got 3 days. He's like, what? She's like, this is it. 3 days, or I'm walking out the door. We got to propose to get married in 3 days. And if you don't, I'm walking out that door. I let you make the decisions and waited on you for 2.5 years. He's like, we just had this talk like about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I told you I'm just waiting to get things right. I'm going to marry you. And he's like, I wanted it to be a surprise. Now it don't even feel like a surprise for you if I do marry you. Now I don't want to get married out of obligation. So he's like, no, I'm not going to do that in 3 days. So she's like, oh, you're serious? You think I won't leave you? She gets up and leaves him. She gets up and leaves him in 3 days. She moved in with her sister because she was listening to her sister's advice. Her sister's been married twice and divorced and living with a boyfriend who broke up the first marriage. She's taking advice from her. So now she's staying with them, and she's like, girl, watch. After about 2 weeks, he gonna be missing you so much. Yeah, watch. He couldn't believe she left. So he gets the promotion. After 2 weeks, they talk. She didn't want to come home until he was ready to marry her. And he says, I can't believe you would do this to me. So he was heartbroken about it and was like, F it. It is what it is now. I see what this is, and I don't want to be a part of it. So he turns around. He says, I don't want any parts of it, because if you would do this to me to try to extort me into a marriage, when I've told you exclusively what I wanted, then maybe you're not the one for me, and maybe I'm holding you back from finding out what it is that you want and who you want to be with. So I'm gonna fall back. So I'm not gonna waste any more time in this relationship. So you can go, you're free to do whatever. This was not what she thought was gonna happen. So they get off the phone. He did not call her back. So she's like, okay, well, I'm coming to get the rest of my stuff out the house then. And he said, okay, I'll pack it for you. And I'll have it ready for you. And sure enough, he had her stuff packed. And she was like, girl, you gonna go get your stuff? Go on and get it. He's playing games. He went and got it. She got her stuff. She moved out. And he sat it there right by it was nicely put, packed for her. Wasn't nothing crazy. She gave him the key. It was his place. She lived there. They lived there together, but he was taking care of the rent and everything was good. So she moved out. People were shocked they broke up, but she was like, look, if he ain't gonna marry me, and people was like, dude, you should have just married her. You stupid. So after the program was over, he had to go to his he got the promotion, but he has to go into training, and training is for like 30 days. You got to go to 30 days, which is in another part of Illinois. It's like about an hour away from where he lives. So they put you in a hotel and you basically live there for 30 days and you're working. So he said, I'm gonna be gone for 30 days doing this. I got the promotion, but I got to get trained. There's things I have to learn. If I'm going to be the regional manager here, if I'm going to be the contact for the regional, I need to understand the region and everything. So this training, when they hired him for these 30 days, he had to go away and take these tests and everything. So he was gone a month. So she's like, wow, he hasn't called me, he hasn't did this. So she went driving by the house and she saw that he wasn't there and was like, oh, he must be living with some other girl, because she always home at this time, because this is when the show goes down. But he's out doing his work. So she's riding around the house. Was like, he ain't been home. Oh my God, something's happened to him. I'm gonna have to call the police. They was like, you're not with him no more. That's not your man. What are you doing? But still, something could have happened to him. Oh my God, now she cares. And then she realized, staying at her sister's, the sister's new boyfriend is not happy that now this sister is staying there too. And he was like, look, we ain't discussed she gonna be like living here. He was like, oh, she's finna get a place. We looking for a place. He was like, all right, cause I don't want this. Like, shoot, this is not what I want. So now he's starting to complain she's there. So now the whole thing turns upside down, topsy-turvy. She's so worried about him and getting back with him and worrying about what he doing, she ain't getting on with her life. And her sister's like, well, you got to get on with your life. It's over. No, he gonna come back around. She was like, girl, you need to go out and date this guy. He's interested in you. So she was, date him. The guy at your job, the one that wanted to date you. So she was wasting her time, going out, listening to her friend, like, girl, go out with him. Go to the bar. So she goes out with the guy from her job on a date to start drinking or whatever. They end up going out. They kick it. She sleeps with him. And he had a condom and all that. So she back getting her groove on. She kicking it like, girl, we had fun and all this. And he was like, I would have married you in a heartbeat. If you was mine, I don't know why he waited so long. I'd have definitely married you. You so sweet. You know, all the stuff to get it. So now he hitting it, right? The other guy. But meanwhile, this guy's been gone a month, training, month's over. He's coming back home. She's still nervous because she hadn't seen him. She still drives by this guy's house. So now he comes home and finds her like stalking his house. So he's like, what is this about? So he pulls in and she's, oh, I didn't see you was here. So I was like concerned. I was going to call the police because I didn't see nobody here. He was like, no, I was training for my job. So I was gone for a month. Oh, I was just making sure you okay and everything, you know, even though we ain't together no more, I'm still checking on you. And she was like, you know, well, I wish you the best. He was like, okay, all good to you too. And was like, she was like, well, you could still call and check on me, you know, make sure I'm all right. He was, I know your sister would have called me if something happened to you or your family, but I want to make sure, you know, I don't think calling you and stuff like that is good for you. I want you to be in your good graces and everything. So go ahead and do you, you know. Next thing you know, more problems ensue. She turns around and goes, oh, she's with the other guy, right? She goes, oh, he's so uppity now. Why didn't I see this before with him? I didn't know he was all like this. I didn't know he was this arrogant. So now she's trying to get herself mad. Now she's going through the angry phase. And she's talking about with the other guy is him. So he was like, look, I don't care about that dude. I care about you. And all this and that. Well, she was like, well, you ain't did nothing serious. You know, I'm living with my sister and all this. He was like, well, I live in an apartment and I can't put nobody or move somebody in, you know, without the landlord on the lease. She's like, when your lease up, then we can move in and get a crib together. He was like, all right, I'll see when my lease is up, but you really want to move in already? She been knowing this guy from the job forever. They dated less than a month. And she's talking about when your lease is up, we need to move in. So she was like, look, when your lease is up, we gonna move out and get a better place. So it ain't gonna matter. And what he gonna do? Put you out early? No. So just go ahead, listen to me. This is how it's gonna work. So naturally he says, okay. And then they go right down the whole down nonsense of dating. So she moves in and starts staying with him in that raggedy apartment before it was time to go. The landlord, and of course they didn't say nothing. Next thing you know, she gets pregnant. This guy is a manager, got the promotion. He's doing fine. He's working. He's the regional manager, got the big promotion. Now he's making some figures. And he's getting ready to move out of the place that they had because now that he's the regional manager, he gets to relocate to somewhere that's more closer to where he's going to be in the offices when he got to move around and stuff. So he'll get flown out in different places. So he's like, well, I don't need this big of a place if it's going to be just me and I got to pay all the bills. So he put the place up and he moved. So the girl was like, well, I could have bought the place from him, but she can't afford it. And neither could that dude that worked at her job, you know, and they ended up, she got pregnant. So he was like, all right, well, she was like, well, I can't had this baby, and and we not married and out of wedlock. So the guy was like, all right, we'll get married. So they got married in the sister's boyfriend's backyard. In his backyard, they had a little wedding. The guy that she used to date didn't show up. He was doing his thing, working, and next thing you know, that guy got engaged. After she got married, about a month later, he was engaged. She found out the guy she broke up with, the one she was waiting on to marry her, he had met a girl and was dating her, and she was into like a pharmaceutical sales. She worked at a pharmaceutical company, and she was the med rep for them. So when they came at a conference, he met her and they ended up dating. And about a year later, they were engaged. So they moved into a place, got engaged. I mean, she's pregnant with this guy from her job. They went and got a place together. It wasn't great. It was a fixer-upper house, is what they called it. It's a fixer-upper. But they had them a place, and then she's pregnant. She had the baby, and she's with this guy, but this ain't the guy she wanted to be with. She's still focusing on that guy who's engaged. They got him and his girl that they're dating. He's the original manager. She makes wide more money than him, and now they getting married. So now she is salty that they getting married. She's still following his Facebook, stalking his Twitter account, everything, watching everything they're doing. Then get mad when she see them out having fun, laughing, anything. So what they doing? What are they doing? I don't believe it. To her husband says, hey, look, we married, we got the kids and all that. And she's like, I'm not happy. You got to make more money. You're not making enough money for this family. So her life is still connected to the guy she gave away. Meanwhile, that guy right now, he's not only the regional manager, he's way up now. Now he owns and he's running about everything now. He's got the businesses, he's got the licenses, he's on a beverage distributional company. So now, buku cash, big house. He got a dog. He got two beautiful girls with his wife that he met, and they've been married for the last about 12 years. 2007 they got married. So yeah, he's been doing it. Been doing it well. So they've been married all that time, and they're all locked in. So it's no problems whatsoever around the board, but they've been married and locked down the whole time. What's up, Cassie? Meanwhile, she is stalking them, all in their marriage, all because she blew the relationship. It was all her fault trying to rush the man into marriage, and now she's in a marriage that she don't even want. That's all her fault. So that's nobody's fault but her. If she was patient and stayed with the man that she loved, none of this would have happened. But it's like she wanted it to happen. Trying to rush things. So be patient with what you got. Be patient, because if you mess it up, you don't want no regrets. So she's married to a whole nother guy and still thinking about the other guy every day. Now that's crazy. But that's life.